So here is the honest truth about the Hyundai showroom in 2026. Some of the cars sitting on that lot right now are genuinely the best value in their entire class. Cars I would tell my own family to buy, without hesitation. And some of them, I would walk right past. Not because they are bad cars, exactly, but because they will cost you thousands of dollars more over the life of ownership than you think. So today, 3 Hyundais to chase, 3 to skip. No sponsorship, no dealer loyalty, just the data, and 18 years of watching what actually happens to these cars after the honeymoon is over. So we start with the Tucson Hybrid, and here is why. The Tucson has been quietly, consistently, one of the most reliable compact SUVs in America for the last 4 model years. Auto Reliability Index scored the current Tucson at 72 out of 100, which puts it right alongside the Honda CR-V and the Toyota RAV4. But the specific one you want is the hybrid. Here is why. The Tucson Hybrid uses the same 1.6-liter turbocharged hybrid setup as the Santa Fe Hybrid, paired with a proper 6-speed conventional automatic, not a dual clutch, not a CVT, a real torque converter automatic. So you get 38 miles per gallon, all-wheel drive as standard on the hybrid, and none of the transmission drama that plagued the older 7-speed DCT cars. Think of it this way. Most manufacturers today are asking you to choose between fuel economy and long-term reliability. The Tucson Hybrid quietly gives you both, using proven components stacked together. It is like a chef who wins the competition not with fancy new techniques, but with perfectly cooked basics. And the ownership math is where this really shines. If you drive 15,000 miles a year and gas is around $3.50 a gallon, the Tucson Hybrid at 38 miles per gallon saves you about $600 a year compared to the base gas Tucson at 26 miles per gallon. So over 10 years, that is $6,000, which basically pays for the hybrid premium twice over. Starting price sits around $33,000, which is a couple of grand more than the base gas Tucson. That premium pays itself back inside 4 years of ownership just on fuel savings alone. So the Santa Fe Hybrid is the one I would put my own mother in if she needed a bigger family SUV, and I mean that. Here is what makes it special. The regular gas Santa Fe uses the 2.5-liter turbo engine, which is a genuinely good motor, but early ones had the 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission that caused all the rollaway recall drama. Hyundai discontinued that DCT for 2026, so all new Santa Fes now use a conventional 8-speed automatic. But if you want to skip the transmission conversation entirely, you go hybrid. The Santa Fe Hybrid pairs the 1.6 turbo hybrid engine with a 6-speed conventional automatic. Same proven combination as the Tucson Hybrid, just in a bigger 3-row body. So you get 36 miles per gallon combined, seating for 7, a genuinely spacious cargo area, and every recent Newsweek Best New SUV award, including 2026. Think of it this way. The gas Santa Fe is like a great restaurant that just changed its head chef. It might still be excellent, but you are betting on the new setup. The Santa Fe Hybrid is like an old family diner that has been serving the same recipe for years, and everybody still lines up around the block. Starting price for the hybrid lands around $36,000. Newsweek Best New SUV winner 2 years running. So this is the one. The 2026 Elantra is the highest scoring Hyundai you can buy right now, and it is not close. Auto Reliability Index gave the current Elantra an 87 out of 100, categorized as excellent. 0 recalls on the 2025 model year, and a small handful of owner complaints, most of them cosmetic. Here is what makes it work. The base Elantra runs the 2-liter SmartStream engine, which is naturally aspirated, port injected, and paired with a conventional 6-speed automatic. No turbo, no direct injection, no dual clutch. So none of the failure modes that have hurt the Sonata line, the earlier Tucson Turbo, or the Kona Turbo apply to this car. And the interior is genuinely modern. Dual 12.3-inch displays across the trims, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto standard. The kind of tech package you would have paid $5,000 extra for 10 years ago, now baseline. Think of it this way. Modern cars are like modern restaurants. The more complicated the menu, the more things can go wrong. The Elantra is the diner ordering a burger. Basic, done 1,000 times, hard to get wrong, and the price. Starting MSRP is around $22,500 for the SE trim. Fully loaded, you are still under $27,000. So you are getting Newsweek Best New Car 2026, an 87 out of 100 reliability score, and Hyundai's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, for less money than a mid-trim compact from most competitors. If you ask me what the single smartest new car purchase in the entire Hyundai showroom is right now, this is the answer. And I am not sure it is close. So the Venue is the cheapest new car sold in America right now. $20,550 starting MSRP. And that price point is legitimately impressive, because almost nothing else on the market sells for under 20 grand new anymore. So I want to be fair here. The Venue is not a bad car for what it is. Here is the problem. The Venue runs a 1.6-liter engine making 121 horsepower paired with a chain belt CVT, and there is no all-wheel drive option at all. So on a highway, you feel every single mile per hour above 65. 0 to 60 takes about 9.5 seconds, which is genuinely slow. And crosswinds move the car around because it is short, tall, and light. Think of it this way. The Venue is like buying a bicycle to save money on a commute. It works great for the first 2 miles into the city center. It works less great when you realize you actually needed a car. And there is the CVT question. Hyundai's chain belt IVT is measurably better than the segmented belt units in some competitor cars, but it is still a CVT, and the reliability track record on it, honestly, is short. So if you plan to keep this car past 100,000 miles, you are gambling on a component that most Hyundai mechanics have not yet worked on at high mileage. If your commute is under 10 miles a day, city only, and you never do highway trips, the Venue is fine. For almost any other buyer, spend the extra $3,000 and get the base Elantra. Better in every measurable way. So the Kona is the one that hurts to put on this list, because Hyundai actually redesigned it beautifully for 2024. The exterior styling is genuinely striking, the interior tech is class-leading, and the 2025 model year finally clawed back to a 74 out of 100 reliability score, which is the best the Kona line has ever scored. But here's the issue. The base 2026 Kona still runs a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine paired with the same intelligent variable transmission from the Venue. And I have already told you my concerns with the CVT. More importantly, the Kona line, averaged across all of its years since 2018, sits at a 65 out of 100 reliability score. That is the lowest average of any Hyundai still on sale. So the 2025 model year is genuinely good, but the badge itself has not built up the reliability track record that the Tucson has. Think of it this way. The Kona is like a restaurant that used to have a really bad reputation, then hired a new chef, and now the food is actually great. The problem is that everybody still remembers the bad reputation, and if you want to sell the car in 5 years, so will every used buyer. Depreciation on the Kona is measurably worse than on the Tucson. So if you love the design and you plan to keep the car for the full 10 years of powertrain warranty, the 2026 Kona is a defensible choice. If you plan to trade in at 3 years, you will lose thousands of dollars more than the Tucson driver next to you. So this is going to be controversial, because the 2026 Palisade is genuinely gorgeous. The redesign is brilliant, and it just won North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. So on paper, this should be a best pick. Here is why it is on the worst list. It is a completely new model, all new platform, all new chassis, first year of the hybrid powertrain in a Hyundai 3-row SUV. Every single mechanical component in that car has 0 years of real-world testing at high mileage. So the 2026 Palisade might turn out to be one of the greatest Hyundais ever built, or it might spend the first 2 years of its life on service bulletins and revised software patches. We do not know yet. Think of it this way. Buying a first-year redesign is like being an early adopter of a new smartphone. The features are exciting, the design is beautiful, and you find every bug the manufacturer missed at your own expense. Auto Reliability Index actually captured this pattern historically. The original 2020 Palisade in its first year scored a 59 out of 100. By 2025, that same base architecture had climbed to 70 out of 100 as Hyundai worked through the recall list. Same car, same badge, 6 years to get right. So the smart move is not to skip the Palisade forever. The smart move is to wait for the 2027 or 2028 model year after Hyundai has issued the first round of technical service bulletins and buy exactly the same car for less money with the bugs already fixed. Or, if you need a 3-row Hyundai right now, this year, just get the Santa Fe Hybrid. Same manufacturer, proven components, one row less, and honestly, most families do not use the third row of a Palisade more than 4 times a year. That third row of seats is like the treadmill in a spare bedroom. You pay for it. You keep it. You use it twice a year for the in-laws visiting from out of town. So those are the 6. 3 genuine Hyundais to buy in 2026, 3 to walk past for now. The Elantra, the Tucson Hybrid, and the Santa Fe Hybrid sit at the top because they combine proven mechanical components with the best reliability scores in the entire Hyundai catalog. The Venue, the Kona base gas, and the brand new Palisade sit at the bottom, each for a different but honest reason. And here's the pattern that runs through the whole list. The best Hyundais right now are the ones using components with the longest track record. The worst ones are the ones introducing new hardware, new architecture, or new powertrain combinations that have not proven themselves yet. It is the same lesson we learned from the Theta 2 engine drama a decade ago. Hyundai's biggest reliability problems have almost always come from ambitious new designs launched before the engineering was fully cooked. The proven components, once they are proven, are actually excellent. Beta 2, Lambda V6. The A6 family of 6-speed automatics. Those all lasted. So if you are shopping the current Hyundai showroom, follow that pattern. Buy the powertrain that has been around a while, skip the one that just launched, and you will almost always be the owner who is still driving the car happily at 200,000 miles, while your neighbor is trading in their first-year redesign. So if this helped you avoid a mistake, hit subscribe. I will see you in the next one.